lost in the lonesome pine.
And as Aubrey said, there are trees for every situation, which leads us on to our next story. Because the trees that you find in your local garden centre, well, they would have come from a wholesale nursery. They'd be the initial growers. And one such is Annaveigh Nursery in County Tipperary. They would have supplied the trees for the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Titanic Quarter in Belfast, and the African Plains at Dublin Zoo. And our Valerie Waters went along to meet the owners and their hard-working Latvian team.
Situated at the foothills of the Galtees, Knockmeal Downs and Comeragh Mountains is Annaveigh Nursery near Cashel in County Tipperary. It was set up just 6 years ago and has been awarded the 2010 Irish Nursery Business of the Year and has been granted the People Management Award, both awards from On Board BIA. John and Grania Murphy are its owners, but they would not be where they are today without their committed team of 10 full-time staff who all come from Latvia. John and Grania met in UCD, where they studied horticulture together.
Ever since then, we've always worked together. Went through the rest of college together, then we went to Germany together and worked together, and came home, worked in a couple of nurseries in Ireland before we finally set up on our own. And I think if we didn't work together, it would make our relationship a lot more difficult. Now, a lot of couples would find it the opposite way around, that they couldn't work together. But we would find that we work very well together, and actually we complement each other in different strengths that we have.
People have always tended to think that tree growers plant the fields, close the gates and come back 5 years later and dig them up. And it's an ongoing task. Each tree has to be handled at least 5 times a year, from planting, caning, tying, shape pruning, and the odd bit of pest and disease control as well. And then regular transplanting has to take place. Nothing can be left in the ground longer than 3 years. If we leave stuff in the ground for too long, it won't transplant right, and the client will then have a bad setback.
All the plants grown here are destined for the wholesale market. The buyers include landscape contractors, local authorities and garden centres in Ireland, the UK, Germany, Holland and Denmark. The layout of the nursery is designed in such a way that it can give clients planting scheme ideas. Rows of trees are interplanted with shrubs in order to make the 55 acres of commercially grown trees more interesting for the wholesale buyers and for the staff.
The whole staff, except myself and Grania, are all from Latvia. They're a fantastic bunch of people. Many of them have been here since the very beginning. They have brought another culture to us that we never thought we'd experience. When it comes to work, they're very, very dedicated. We have very, very few sick days. They're always here on time. You can see around the nursery every day how they take pride in their work, how everything is so well done on the nursery and how clean the place is kept. Because the nursery is spread over 4 locations, we can't be there all the time. So there's a great deal of trust given to the staff that they're working, that they're doing the right thing, and we have always given the staff that trust. We have never doubted that they would be doing anything else, and they have paid us back, manyfold for that trust that we've given them. They treat the nursery like their own nursery, and they were as thrilled and as happy to receive the award this year as we were.
The Murphys live beside the nursery with their 2 children. They keep hens, dogs and ponies on their land. There is also a well-tended vegetable plot, which belongs to the staff. English speakers are in the minority here, as Latvian is the main language spoken in this part of the world.
Outside of work, we like to have barbecues with the staff. We would often talk about business and often not about business. They have a cricket team and they play cricket, which they're really starting to enjoy, to the extent that one of them wanted to come up last Sunday to practice. We all get along very well. We don't find it intrusive that they're there at our weekends. In fact, it's quite enjoyable having people that you know coming. I think it's an important aspect of the business that we can offer them that type of an option, because they don't have gardens where they're living at the moment.
The only plant propagation carried out in the nursery is by a method known as budding.
We propagate by budding because we have control over the planting stock that we use. If you're buying in all your planting stock, you haven't got the control that we need to make sure that what goes forward into our main production systems is the best we can find. This is the wild rootstock. This is where we put the bud in last year, and this is the growth so far this year.
The economic downturn has affected many of the sales to landscapers who were planting up new developments. But Grania is optimistic that the home market will pick up again as people's priorities change.
It will take another 2 or 3 years, but I think that people will still want to have nice things around them that are not going to cost them a lot of money, such as trees and shrubs. I think people will tend to be at home more because they can't afford to go on holidays, and they'll spend a little bit more on their own homes, upgrading them, rather than buying second homes and investment properties. And I'm optimistic enough for the future. I think also if we can continue to expand our export market, that will also be of great help, both to ourselves, obviously, and hopefully to the Irish economy, what little contribution we can make by exporting.
Living on site has worked out well for the Murphys at Annaveigh. There is no travel time to work, and the quality of life is good here in rural Tipperary.
I always wanted to work from home, if you want to put it like that. I love being able to go for a walk in the evening around the trees and to admire them and look at how they're growing and so on. I love having the children nearby. They go to school, but they're here the rest of the time. It's wonderful. If they need us, we're there. I would recommend it to anybody if they can do it.
Lost, lost in the lonesome pine.
And well done to John and Grania, and indeed to their hard-working Latvian team. That ends our programme for this evening. Do join us again at the same time on Monday next. Until then, from all of us in a nationwide team, a very good evening to you.